What difference does your faith make to you? What difference does it make in your life? Is it something optional, like deciding whether to belong to a club, or is it essential to you? These are questions many of us never really ask ourselves. If you are watching or listening to this devotional, though, odds are that your faith is a vital part of your life. But I'm betting that you don't often ask this very basic question. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas, and this is your daily devotional for Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. We Reformed Christians have a few quirks. You probably already knew that. Ask most Christians why it is important to be a Christian, and their top answer will have something to do with their personal salvation. And surely this is important. But for Reformed Christians, there is something even more important, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with the difference the faith makes in our lives, at least not directly. And that thing is the glorification of God. Lifelong Presbyterians, at least those older than a certain age, will remember the first question and answer of the Westminster Shorter Catechism, which says, "What is the chief end of man?" The answer, man's chief end is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. Old-time ministers remember a question that was once often asked of candidates for ordination. Would you be willing to be damned to hell for the glory of God? Sounds shocking, doesn't it? But if you stop and think about it, it is exactly the right answer. What is more important even than my own salvation? The glory of God. Now, that's not something that will attract many people to the faith. Christian faith, though, really begins with our own wants and needs. Let me be careful how I say that, though. I do not mean that the most important thing in the Christian faith is the satisfaction of our wants and needs, only that for most of us, our own faith begins there. Hopefully our faith grows from there to something more mature. Last week I talked about the many faces of faith and the different ways we all live out our faith. I think with that in mind, it is safe to say we all have different answers to the question, what difference does the faith make in our lives? It is probably important for each one of us to reflect on that question and to try to articulate an answer. Why? Well, for one, because at some point a friend or colleague is likely to confide in you concerning a personal struggle they're facing. They're likely to ask you how you have handled a similar struggle in your own life. Not every personal struggle involves the faith. Sometimes it's medical, sometimes it involves broken relationships, but always something that you have thoughts about. So that would be an important time to talk very personally about your own journey. That's how we help each other, after all. From a certain perspective, life is nothing but a constant journey through the unknown. And when we get to places in our lives where we don't know the way forward, we ask trusted souls in our lives for guidance. And in turn, when others find themselves in the same situation, our own experiences may be just the thing to help them. And here's the deal. While a lot of these things may not appear at first to be faith questions, they really turn out to be faith questions in the end. And it turns out that faith is one of the things that sustains us in difficult or confusing times. It is exactly at times like this that we need to be able to articulate our own faith and how it has sustained us through difficult times. Then we can be a big help to a friend or someone else in need who needs support in walking through the difficult times. One of the people who did this for me early on was my mother. She was not a Bible thumper, nor was she what I would call a loud Christian. But her faith ran deep. And you know the old adage, still waters run deep. From time to time, when she saw me running into life's difficulties, she would just quietly tell me a story from her own experience, including how her faith sustained her through her most difficult days. I don't remember many of the specifics, but what I do remember was that her faith was a vital part of her life, even if she didn't beat you over the head with it. And as much as anything, that's what has shaped my own faith. Unless I miss my guess, Someone you know shared a bit of their faith story along the way when you needed it, and you in turn have spoken to someone about your faith when that person needed a little help and support. So let me know your story. What difference has the faith made in your life? How has someone else's faith journey helped you along the way? And do you remember a time when your story helped someone else? Let me know. But for now, may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.